What's up YouTube, my name's Ravlar and welcome back to another video. Today I have the first episode of Runescape 3 tips and tricks for 2019. I hope you all had a fabulous new year, but now it's time to get back to the scaping, so sit back, relax and enjoy the video guys. So last video I asked you guys what was the funniest death that you've had in this game, and my favourite comment was by Joe. He said his most embarrassing death was when he was at Clan Wars and he thought he'd be a little brave and step in, but he got Ice Barrage for his D claws. Unlucky Joe, but hopefully this bond will make that death a little bit sweeter, so feel free to PM me in game or on Discord and I will get back to you with that bond. But for this week's bond competition, I want you guys to think back to your first RuneScape memory, type it down in the comments below, and if you're lucky, you're going to win a bond. So nothing to lose, so go for it. And finally, let's get on to today's video. This week's tips and tricks has been very tough to compile, as I've almost done all of the tips and tricks in game, and if you want to check them out, make sure you check the series playlist. But if you do have any which I haven't done yet, please feel free to drop them in my Discord or in the comments below. It will help me out so much for the future episodes, and together we can help the community. But anyway, enough chat from me, sit back, relax, and enjoy the first episode of Tips and Tricks for 2019. First off, we have a very niche little trick which hardly anyone knows about, and that is when you're walking, i.e. you have your run turned off, and you click on a spot plus the control key, you will actually run to that spot even if you have the run option clicked off. Now of course you probably want to get from point A to B as quickly as possible, so it's best to have run on at all times, but I can see a few places where this would be useful. For example, P5 Virago, where as bomb tank you don't want to be running bombs into the DPS pile, so it's actually worth turning run off so you walk there, and this gives you some more flexibility with what you choose to do. And without divulging into too much detail, this could be also very useful if you choose to Scythe Araxor on P4, as walking towards P4 Araxor makes sure that you're 2 squares away and you can't be hit from the melee attack. Anyway, I hope that tip will help you out somewhere down the line. Next up, we have a very underutilized aura, but it can be very useful if you're someone who likes to do your daily sandstone and the criminal bolt tree runs, and that is the Resourceful aura. What this aura does is it makes sure that you have 10% more resources from sandstone and trees. Therefore, you make 10% more profit when doing your red sandstone and crystal sandstone, and if you're doing your criminal bolt runs, it gets you 10% more logs, which is very nice, as they are very expensive and you can make about 6 mil plus an hour doing that. And if you're interested in that money making method, I do have a guide on that which I will link in the top right. Also, it's worth noting that this aura has been updated since the mining and smithing rework to give a 2% chance to get a geode when mining, so if your quarry master auras are on cooldown, this is not a bad option to use in that scenario. A couple of months ago, the Grace of the Elves was introduced into the game as a part of an Alchemical Onyx update. Now this item is awesome, but I'm not going to go into all of its uses, but mainly focus on the 2 max skill portal teleports which you get access to. Now as long as you have the Grace of the Elves with you either equipped or in your inventory, you can teleport to either of these skilling portals from anywhere within the game. Now if you choose to attune your 2 skilling portals to 1 Xanaris Fairy Ring and 2 the Trinum Stronghold, you get 2 extremely useful teleports in one item. Firstly, the Xanaris Fairy Ring is very self-explanatory, it takes you straight there and you can use a Fairy Ring instantly. Likewise, if you teleport to the Trinum Stronghold, it takes you right in front of a spirit tree, so you can use that to teleport as you so wish. So by utilizing the Grace of the Elves, you can save a couple of slots in your clue preset, and you can avoid using invention materials for the equivalent teleports that provides. If you have completed the quest as a first resort, you get access to the Ooglog pools, which are very helpful in certain scenarios. The most useful one is by far the Thermal pool, which increases your health by a flat 3%, and if you stack this with the tips I gave you about maximizing your health bonus in the first episode, you can really boost your health to an absurdly high number, which makes you a lot harder to kill. Another neat HP trick that you can use at a bank is to turn on Fortitude and then eat a rocktail, or a rocktail soup, or a sailfish soup, and then log out afterwards. Once you do this and log on, you are then free to leave the bank and then still have the same amount of life points as you did before you logged off. Unfortunately, once you lose these life points, it does go back to normal, but this trick is particularly useful for Virago when you're trying to meet the HP threshold to actually face the boss. The Tyrannwyn Quiver is a reward that you get from completing the elf tasks, and recently it has had some updates which make it very useful. Firstly, a very useful teleport has been added to the Tyrannwyn Quiver, and that takes you straight to the mushroom patch in the Tyrannwyn area. Now this is great if you like to farm Morchella mushrooms for profit, and this saves you a bunch of time from walking from the lodestone, so hopefully you guys can use this in the future. Another somewhat useful update to the quiver is that now all teleports used from the quiver apart from the Death Altar teleport are now unlimited. Before it used to be capped at around 5 I believe, but now you can teleport to Letia, Ithil Clan region, Tyrus Camp and all the other locations until your heart's content. I presume that this is going to be very useful for you clue hunters out there. Next up, I have a tip for you guys who are hunting recipes for either the comp wreck or just to get access to some awesome potions like the Supreme Overload Salve and the Perfect Plus. Now, in order for this trick to work, you need to get your hands on a Team Yak card. Now, it has to be specifically a team card or this will simply not work. Now, if you're finding it difficult to get your hands on one of these cards, you can always ask your clanmates or just pop in my Discord and ask there. I'm sure someone has one lying around. Alternatively, you can go to Demonheim and trade this guy and try and buy some Team Yak cards. It does require some RNG and some tokens, so do this at your own risk. Anyway, once you do have a Team Yak card, deposit everything and go into a normal dungeon. I believe you can enter with someone else, so whoever has the card is now to activate it, and you will find a recipe after the first door. After completing this dungeon, it's very important you continue to the next floor automatically without leaving Daemonheim or the dungeoneering section, and voila, the card reactivates again without you actually having to manually activate it, and you should find a recipe in the first few doors you open. Now you can do this for as many recipes as you need and complete the comp wreck in one go. Now if you are wondering, yes, all team cards work this way, and if you have a bunch of them lying around with extra XP bonuses and extra token bonuses, it's a pretty good place to use them. Now I will be making a video on solo dungeoneering and how to use this, and I'm telling you that the rates that you can see are insane, like 1.5 mil dungeoneering XP an hour, so watch this space. I want to work on it properly and get a good guide out for you guys. Finally, it's time to come to this week's main tip, and this tip is going to be amazing for you Iron Men out there, so make sure you pay attention. Now, on the Lunar spellbook, there is a spell called Spiritualize Food. Now, what this spell does is it transforms a normal piece of food and it gives it to your familiar, extending the duration of your familiar and increasing its stats. Now, why Iron Men are going to love this is because Nihils are kind of annoying to stack up on, and this extends your Nihil by around 23 minutes, which is amazing. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy it. But anyway, how do you use this? Well, first things first, like I said, switch to Lunar spellbook if you are at a bank, use some Cosmic, Body and Astral runes and get a piece of food which heals more than 1200. Use the spell on the food and voila, your timer will be boosted, and now it's time for you to enjoy your extended Nihil. So hopefully that tip helps you guys out a lot. Also, make sure you switch back to normal spellbook. Don't be like me and go into a Telos instance on Lunars. I've done that more times than I care to admit. But hopefully that tip helps you guys out. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. That episode took so long to make, and I've really had to dig deep to find some unique, interesting things that would help you guys out. It is becoming very difficult, as like I said earlier, we have covered almost all of the tips out there, but if there's anything that we've learned making these episodes is that don't be so naive to think you've covered it all. there's always something out there, no matter how experienced you are, that you can learn from and benefit from. As always though, thank you so much for watching, it does mean so much to me, and if you like the video, please do drop a like, it means a lot, and consider subscribing for lots more RS3 content. Now, in regards to my channel, I have been kind of quiet over the past couple of months, and that's because I've been focusing on Twitch, but as of New Year, I do want to be focusing on YouTube a lot more, and I want to repay the faith that you guys have shown in me by supporting me to win the Golden Gnome, which still means so much to me, and hopefully you're going to see some wonderful content ahead, so please do stick around. But for now guys, I'll see you in the next one. Na 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 na.